Welcome to this deep dive. Today we'll be exploring some practical tools for understanding and managing anxiety. We're going to be focusing on some breathing and relaxation exercises from your source material. I'm excited to dive in. What about you? What really jumped out at you?
What's interesting is how the techniques we're talking about today leverage the body's natural response to anxiety.
Hmm.
So it's not just about calming the mind, it's about actually addressing how anxiety manifests physically, which can be super powerful.
Yeah, it's like a two-pronged approach,
Yeah.
right? Addressing both the mental and the physical.
Exactly.
So the source material talks about this feeling of tightness in the chest,
Yeah.
like it's difficult to breathe, which I think a lot of people can relate to. Have you ever experienced that kind of sensation with anxiety?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like you're trying to take a full breath, but something's holding you back. And the source material actually connects this to our natural breathing cycle, inhaling, which is sort of symbolic of life, and exhaling, which represents release. But when anxiety comes into play, we kind of disrupt this natural cycle. We take those big inhales, but we struggle to fully let go on the exhale,
Right.
creating that feeling of tension and being stuck.
It's like we're holding on to the anxiety, like it's physically stuck there in our
Yeah.
chest. And the source material also makes a distinction between what it calls distress and nervousness.
Yeah.
Did you find that distinction helpful at all?
I did. Yeah, it's subtle, but it is important. So distress is that feeling of constriction, like there's just not enough space, and it's tied to like a deeper fear. Whereas nervousness is more like our body's immediate reaction to fear. Think of
Mhm.
it as your nervous system just like slamming on the gas pedal, urging you to escape.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So with distress, it's like a constant pressure, whereas nervousness is more of like a jolt, a sudden burst of energy.
Yeah.
The source material compares this feeling of nervousness to something they call emotional death, which sounds pretty intense. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a pretty strong image, right? But I think what they're getting at is that sometimes our nervous system can react so strongly to fear even if the threat isn't physical.
Right.
It just feels completely overwhelming, like our body is going into survival mode, even if it's just a presentation or like a social situation that we're nervous about.
Right, because our body doesn't necessarily know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a big work
Yeah,
deadline.
exactly. Exactly. It just knows it needs to react.
So how do these exercises that we're going to talk about actually help us manage these physical sensations of anxiety?
Well, the source material dives into a number of different exercises, but before we get into the specifics, it emphasizes the importance of setting the scene, finding a quiet space where you feel comfortable,
Right.
where you can minimize distractions. Creating that sense of calm even before you start can really boost the effectiveness of the exercises.
Like setting the stage for relaxation.
Exactly, both physically and mentally.
So the first exercise that they talk about involves a spiky ball. And I just want to clarify for the listeners, this isn't like a hard spiky ball. This is a soft therapeutic ball. And the first step is to lie face down with the ball positioned underneath your diaphragm. What happens next?
So as you take slow, deep breaths, you'll feel the ball gently rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. And what's interesting is that this focused pressure can really help release tension in the diaphragm, allowing for deeper, fuller breaths.
So we're physically easing that tightness in the chest that we were talking about.
Exactly.
And then the next step is to move the ball a little bit lower to the area around your navel. How does that change the experience?
So by repositioning the ball, you're targeting a different area where we tend to hold tension. And as you continue with those deep breaths, you might feel a release in your belly, even in your internal organs. It's like you're systematically unwinding your body from the inside out.
Wow. And then finally, you move the ball down to the area around your pubic bone, right?
That's right. Yep. And what this does is it helps expand your breath even further down into your lower abdomen. It's all about maximizing that deep diaphragmatic breathing we talked about, which is so important for calming the nervous system.
So with each position of the ball, we're deepening our breath and releasing tension in different areas.
Exactly.
The source material then moves on to an exercise for relaxing the lower back, which might seem a little bit unrelated. What's the connection there?
Well, this one uses two balls placed under your lower back, right where your ribs end. It might surprise you, but tension in this area can actually impact how we breathe as well.
Oh, wow. Our bodies are so interconnected. It's amazing how seemingly unrelated areas can influence each other.
It really is. So by releasing tension in the lower back, we're indirectly creating more space and freedom in our chest and abdomen, which further facilitates that deeper breathing.
Yeah, it really highlights the holistic nature of these techniques.
Mm.
They're not just about isolated muscles or movements. They're about addressing the body as a whole and recognizing how everything is connected.
So the source material then goes on to introduce an exercise with a pretty interesting name, the play dead exercise.
Yeah.
I have to admit it caught my eye. What's that all about?
Yeah, I have to admit the name always makes me smile too.
Hmm.
But there's actually a really profound wisdom behind it. The idea is to actually surrender to the feeling of anxiety rather than try to fight it.
Mm.
So instead of resisting it or trying to push it away, we actually allow ourselves to fully experience the sensation.
That's interesting. It seems a little bit counterintuitive, but I can see how letting go of that resistance could actually reduce the power of the anxiety.
Exactly, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like when you're trying to force open a door that's jammed.
Right. The more you push, the more stuck it becomes. But if you kind of step back and see what's blocking it, you can usually find a way to release it gently.
So instead of battling against the anxiety, we're learning to acknowledge it and observe it without judgment. And I imagine the breath plays a big role here as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, slow, controlled breathing is key. With each inhale, we invite a sense of calm.
Right.
And with each exhale, we release tension and allow the anxiety to just kind of pass through us.
It's like riding a wave. Instead of fighting against the current, we're learning to flow with it, knowing that it will eventually subside.
Exactly.
It seems like a really powerful shift in perspective.
It really is. And it's important to remember that, surrendering to anxiety doesn't mean giving up or letting it control us.
Right.
It's about choosing a different way to respond, a way that empowers us rather than drains us.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about how anxiety can show up physically, the difference between distress and nervousness, and some practical exercises to help manage those sensations.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the key takeaways from this source material?
I think one of the most important takeaways is that managing anxiety is not about eliminating it altogether.
Right.
It's about learning to navigate those feelings more effectively, developing tools and techniques that allow us to respond in a healthy and constructive way.
It's about empowering ourselves to move through the anxiety
Mm.
rather than letting it stop us in our tracks. And the source material also encourages us to actually practice these exercises regularly and observe how our bodies respond.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a process of self-discovery. What works for one person may not work for another. It's about finding what resonates with you, what helps you feel more grounded and at ease in your own body.
It's a journey, not a destination. And even small steps can make a big difference over time. The source material leaves us with a really thought-provoking question that I'd love to kind of explore a little bit. It asks how we can apply these breathing techniques and this idea of playing dead to everyday situations that trigger anxiety. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. It really challenges us to take these techniques beyond the mat, so to speak,
Right.
and integrate them into our daily lives. For example, imagine you're feeling anxious about a presentation at work.
Yeah.
Could you take a few moments to practice deep breathing
Yeah.
and visualize surrendering to that fear?
Or let's say you're feeling overwhelmed in a social situation.
Right.
Could you excuse yourself for a moment and maybe engage in like a mini play dead exercise to calm your nervous system?
Exactly. The possibilities are really endless. It's about finding ways to use these tools in a way that feels authentic and empowering for you.
It's about taking those small moments throughout the day to reconnect with our breath, to release tension, and remind ourselves that we have the power to choose how we respond to anxiety.
And I think that's where the real magic happens, When we move beyond theory and into practice, that's when we truly begin to experience the transformative power of these techniques.
So it's like we're building this toolbox of techniques that we can use
Exactly.
whenever those anxious feelings start to kind of bubble up.
And the more we practice these techniques, the more accessible they become, almost like a reflex.
Right.
Instead of getting swept away by that current of anxiety, we develop that ability to just pause, breathe, and choose a different course.
It's like we're training our nervous system to respond differently to those perceived threats, to find that calm amidst chaos.
Exactly. And it's not about becoming immune to anxiety. It's about developing resilience, the capacity to bounce back, and to navigate those challenges with greater ease and confidence.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the most important message for our listeners to take away from all this?
I think the most important message is that you're not alone in this.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety is a common human experience. There are tons of resources available to support you. Remember that you have the power to take control of your anxiety and live a fuller, more peaceful life.
Such a good reminder. It's not about conquering anxiety, it's about befriending it, understanding it, and finding ways to live in harmony with it.
And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Yeah,
Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating.
that's so true. Well, thank you so much for sharing all these incredible insights with us today. It's been a really enlightening conversation.
My pleasure. I always enjoy these conversations.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into understanding and managing anxiety. We hope you found it helpful, empowering, and we hope you keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep believing in your ability to find that peace and well-being.